So I just want to ask you about you and Papa Sam. Okay, so we all love the collaboration you've done with the One Blood. Obviously, there was kind of a bit of an event that happened at Sting with you and Sam. Was that just kind of showboating, or was it at the time? Was there real kind of? Was it really hard between you two?
Well, at the time it was really hard because it was not a situation that we had planned for, and we had rehearsed something differently to get done at his home. I was at his home the night before.
Right.
So we had rehearsed a whole different set, what would have taken place, what should have taken place. But when we got on stage, I was greeted with that surprise, and I wasn't comfortable with it.
Right.
I wasn't pleased about it. Actually, I felt deceived.
Right.
So, that was the feeling that I had then.
So do you think that kind of thing, was that just kind of like the competitive nature of that kind of environment? Do you think that's what kind of brought
maybe not, because there are other phases that are other perspective that you could have on it. But it is what it is, and it took place, and it's a dead issue to me.
No, I'm not.
No, I know that you're not. I'm just explaining to you.
Why I'm talking about it, because I look at the fact that you and Sam have just done an awesome track together, and I just look at God and think, Lord, you're awesome. Yeah,
because you see, sometimes God allows some things to happen, to take you from one position, from one place to the next, and retrospectively looking at everything, as the scripture says, all things work together for good. To those that love the Lord and are the called according to his purpose. So I think that took place in terms of preparation, how we need to walk, how we need to be prepared, and it helped me to prepare myself, in a whole different way from that time until now.
Right.
Right across the board, in terms of how you prepare. Because sometimes you can operate and present yourself to be vulnerable.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I learned from the situation, that, listen, you need to be prepared. You need to, be expecting of the unexpected.
Amen.
You know what I mean?
And what's interesting is both you and Papa Sam, from what you're telling us today, you're a minister of the gospel in terms of you're a pastor.
Yeah.
And I know that Papa Sam leads a church as well.
Yeah.
And it's just amazing where God has brought you both from.
Right.
And where he's brought you both to. And the fact that you're doing stuff together as well.
It's a good thing. We do a video as well too.
The video. So it's good, man.
So it's
God is amazing, isn't he, what he does? And
awesome.
Awesome.
So
listen, we're in the midst of all that then, so you've got all this success. I really love to hear your heart, that your heart was to look after your family really, and you know what I mean? To just survive and flourish and look after mommy and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. What was it that kind of got you to a place where you needed Christ?
It was my mother again, because we had a very close relationship, and then she passed off. She fell to a diabetic coma. She fell in a diabetic coma, and she had high blood pressure, and so she went home to be with the Lord. But at her funeral service, there was a pastor called, his name is Pastor Wayne Palmer, and the funeral service was being held in Spanish Town at the Glad Tidings Home Bible Church. And he was saying that if you planted corn, and corn would germinate and it will grow. Likewise, peas, it would germinate and it would grow. And if you die safe, you would rise safe. And if you die unsafe, you'll rise unsafe. And in the midst of my bereavement, I was, taking an introspective view of my life, and the word that rang out to me most of all was germination. Yeah? And being a person who teach biology, I understood the process of germination, that something had to be buried and something had to die for newness to come.
Yes.
So you had to plant the corn and the grain, the seed had to die for newness to come out of it. And it had to stay under the earth for for the incubation period before it pops up, above the surface. And I was thinking that since he says germination, what is it now that has to die for newness of life to come? And so I started looking at myself, and that was what started the process. You know what I mean? There were some other ministers like Pastor Vanessa Anderson, is one of my great mentor, and mother love her, like cook food. She was there ministering to me as well, and she was asking me several different questions, about Christ and teaching me a lot of things. And I started asking her. She said I had to get baptized, and she was taking me through the process. But I knew the Bible from then because I have done the GC O level,
Right.
and I have religious studies as one of the subjects in it. And so I knew the Bible a great deal. I had to study it for the exam. And she was saying that I had to get baptized. And I'm saying, hey, but what about the guys on the cross who died beside him? They never got baptized. The one who asked, and Jesus said, this day you'll be in paradise with me. And she was saying, she said to me, how can you tell that rain never fell that day? And that was his baptism. And I couldn't find a response to give her. And I'm never comfortable in that position because I'm always a very argumentative guy. I'm a debater.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I said, wow, that really that came home to me big time, And so that was it. So I was thinking about the process all along. So when August 7th, 1997, on my way to Reggae Sumfest, when the accident took place, after I finished praying, 45 seconds after I finished praying, it took place. I rounded off at that second because it was very close. When I went to the event and the transformation took place, it was basically just the final, icing being put on the cake, because it's a process that I was already going through, in giving my life to Christ. So when it took place, I know that had it not been for the prayer that we had, then we wouldn't be having this interview today at all, And I got 7 encores at the festival. Yeah. It was the best performance for the night and for the festival as well. And somebody gave me a little book. And I realized later on that it was a 15-year-old guy. He's a Christian artist called Ja Pickney.
Yeah, I know Ja Pickney.
Yeah. He was the one who gave me the book. And he was 15 years old at the time. Saved up all his lunch money. Got 17 Bibles to give out to celebrities. 70,000 people, I believe, were in attendance for the festival, along with several different celebrities who got the Bible. And I was the only one who got saved. And I only realized that it was a Bible when I got back to the hotel and I started reading it, realizing that it tells you where to find help when you're worried, when you're troubled, when you're bereaved, when you lost a friend. And I've never seen a Bible like this before. Right. Started weeping, and the conviction came upon me. And I told my posse, I'm a crew that listen. This is it. August 7th, 1997.